Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Why I Did It, the first episode of the first podcast we've ever launched ever, featuring Dr. Walid Al-Barmani and the not Dr. Osama Al-Sakit.
Pleasure, man. Excited.
How you been, Walid? How's things?
Good, man. Good. Busy day, long day, and a lot's been happening in the past few weeks, but Sani, things are good. Exciting.
So let's cut to the chase. Are we going to get replaced by AI?
So why do you want it?
It's good goddamn business. And if I don't buy it, someone else will, and that will be very, very bad for my business.
Oh, good question. I actually watched a video just today, and you know how Bing and Google are obviously competing.
Yes.
Currently, in a month's time, Bing is going to release the public, the actual extension. KBHG just did a review and he got early access to it. And what he said was, if you are basically, you don't have enough information, say you're not an expert at a particular topic, if you ask it a question, it will give you a good broad answer, but to a normal person, that'll be good enough. To somebody who is aware of that topic or has extensive knowledge of that topic, it can be wrong. And they tested it out. Like, for example, they asked it and said, what would be the best 5 electrical vehicles? And it just literally named 5 different ones. And to a normal person, they'll be like, oh, great. But to an expert, they'll say, that's wrong, So will it replace humans? I don't think so. But we should use it to our advantage rather than worry about.
Was it the Corolla, the best car ever?
No, yeah, you wish.
Hey, man, I
they
don't hate a
mentioned
Toyota.
something. They mentioned, I think it was a Jaguar electric vehicle that should have been on the list. And it missed a few of them, but it can be really, really specific. Like, for example, they also tested to see how accurate it is. They asked the question and said, how many luggage and suitcases can you fit in a Tesla Y model? And it actually went and then searched for the dimensions of the bag. And then it realized what the dimension of the boot is for the Y model Tesla. And then told them, no, you can actually fit 11 luggages. So it's pretty intense. So it's
is that the Linus Tech one? The little brand thing? Was it the Linus Tech little bag brand?
I think so. They were talking about a tech bag. You're right.
Yeah, that's what about Linus.
Yeah, man.
We don't wear sandals here.
Exactly.
Have you seen I had a patient the other day and they were asking about this car. Have you heard about the Cupra EV?
Cupra, yeah. So I've seen it. So it's I think it's American and it looks like it's got a nice symbol.
I think it's
coming
Spanish.
around.
Actually,
you're right. Sorry. It is Spanish. You're right.
Yeah.
It is Spanish. What was I thinking about? Must have been thinking about the other one, but it is it's up and coming.
It's interesting. I had a look at it. It looks exactly like that. Well, that specific model looked very similar to like a Lamborghini. And they have this thing called the Carmen Balloon or whatever. And it looks like it has the
SUV?
So they had an SUV that looked like the Lamborghini SUV. I can't remember what's that called, that
Urus.
one? Urus.
Lamborghini Urus,
And then they had another supercar called like the Bologna or the Bolognese or whatever. I don't know.
Bologna. Are you sure that's Italian?
It could be the Bologna.
Another Italian car.
But yeah, the doors open up and it's actually quite cool. But I was like, thinking about it. I'm like, would I actually buy a car that's new that doesn't have much parts? Because the main problem, I would love to get a Jaguar, but then you think about Jaguar parts, it just goes, whoop, you have to go and replace those parts. They gotta have them in stock. They have to go, but check it out. Check out just right, the Carmen Balloon. We'll put it up on the video. We'll actually put it right there. What do you think about that car? Actually,
I do like the Cupra. I think they're up and coming. I don't know much about it. I love cars, but for some reason, I just haven't been interested in this one particular. But there's a few of them up and coming, man.
I think it's called the Formentor or Fermentation. I don't know.
Yeah, Formentor. Here we go. Formentor. It is a nice name. That is the SUV. Yeah. So I think that's what you're talking about because it does look like a little bit like I see what you're saying. The front end maybe looks like the Urus and the wheels has got a little bit of
got the edgy look. I saw it today. I was driving by and it had like a white one. I'm like, But I don't know.
You're not going to get a Tesla anymore, Osama?
No way. I'm a Tesla fanboy. One day. When this podcast goes big, I will get a Tesla. Until then, I'll continue riding in my little car.
They are dropping in value. But man, have you noticed also when you go on car sales right now, and if you look at Tesla used cars, a lot of them have done a lot of mileage. It's weird because comparing them to like a standard, you know, a 4-door car in the same range, most of them haven't done the same mileage. So for some reason, whoever is buying these Teslas, actually, don't you have a colleague who does that? He buys Teslas and then
yes, he does. He does.
Rents it out.
Well, apparently they've been slashed up to like 20%, which is huge. Like think about it. Like you price your car based on depreciation, but then the Tesla actual dealership dropped it by 20%. And the recession is coming. The recession is coming, happening.
But Tesla dealership is owned by Tesla. So
yes,
yeah.
And that's the thing. Like when they control it and they drop the price, and basically you're screwed. Like your actual car value that you bought last year will become the same price as a new one. So then you have to even go lower
because they're trying to make it more accessible to people. Because that was its aim in the first place.
Well, I think I think people are just not buying them as much. Like there's probably like an actual. I'm sure they had like plenty of people buying them during COVID, but they have to probably adjust based on supply. And you know how there was a supply backlog? Now they probably have too much supply because people are saying, you know what?
Yeah.
I want to think about maybe the Cupra or whatever other cars are EV. There's the Mercedes coming up with new ones, Volkswagen.
Heaps.
My mom actually drives a Volkswagen. She drives a Volkswagen.
Has she got it now?
Yeah, she has an ID4. She's been driving it for a year now.
Yep. She likes
it? She loves it. It's a good car, small. It looks like, I would say probably like a bigger than the, what's that car? What's that Mitsubishi Lancer? It's got a bigger size on it, but it's like a hatchback.
I see what you're saying.
Check it out. It's actually called the Volkswagen ID4. She says it's all good, but the Jordan stock they get is basically all Chinese. So they basically boot up and they say like, you know, ni hao or something. And then they start.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're getting from that. Interesting.
Yep. And the actual dealership
actually looks nice.
Jordan,
yeah, we won't get that model here in Australia. There's a lot of limitations and what's it called? A different kind of range that we get over here in Australia.
Well, I spoke to the dealership because I was getting my car service and the guy's like, yeah, we're getting a new one, but it's not the ID. It's something else. Maybe it is ID. I don't know. But I showed him the one. He had no idea. He's like, oh, we don't have that yet. But he said they're coming.
Annoying?
What?
Basically now, like the way the world is going, especially when it comes to motor vehicles, is that they're trying to use the same model of subscription and base it onto the cars. And I don't know if you heard about BMW, what they're looking into.
I heard that. That's messed up.
Yeah.
But so tell them anyway. Tell it anyway.
Yeah. So basically, like BMW are looking into this model where you buy a vehicle, they will have the features in the car already built in, but they're not accessible unless you pay for a subscription. So one theory is that, if you want to use say, for example, the safety camera or say, for example, the heated seats, okay, rather than actually buying it like, you know, on the actual model itself or paying for the extra money to get that, you now pay a subscription to be able to use them. And I don't know, I don't like it. I think it's a terrible direction that it's going because the cars are not getting like the quality of vehicles nowadays is not as good as it used to be. And now they're trying to make it into, you know, a subscription model. I don't like it. You know,
so you like get into a car that's like leather and says pay subscription. And once the leather's, you don't pay it.
Leather anymore, man.
They rip the leather out. They rip it from under.
Yeah.
And then it becomes pleather.
It's leather, exactly. But bro, that's the thing, man. That's the thing. Like it's not even leather anymore. The quality, like, I don't know about you, but man, like, Mercedes quality has gone downhill. So if you buy a basic Mercedes right now, the quality of that is worse than buying, say, a Toyota or buying a Mazda 3. You know, unless you pay for the higher range model, then you start to get the quality. But I don't know, everything is going backwards when it comes to that.
Think about it though, they're kind of following like a lean methodology, like probably like producing one car with everything in it. And then all they do is switch off the stuff.
Yes.
I'm sure some hagglers will figure out a way to like activate it. Like
of course.
Some little like fireware back in the day, you know, you had to like jailbreak
what
your phone.
What do you do for the phone? Yeah, what's it called?
The jailbreak.
Yeah, jailbreak.
Man, I did that ages ago, man. Yeah, for the Cydia boys.
Yeah. That's so true. I remember that, man.
The Cydia.
It was good. But they're reaching a level right now where everything is going to become electronic. And Tesla started this, you know, so everything is going to be in the dashboard. And if they have control of the main CPU, they'll be able to control anything. And I don't know, like, you'll never feel that the vehicle belongs to you, you know? So, and I hear also apparently iPhone and Apple wants to do this with their phones now, whether they want to create a subscription base where, you know, you pretty much rent the phone and then 2-3 years later, you know, you give it back. So it's going to come to a point where people are just renting everything. No one owns anything. And it's happening. It started with Netflix and everything
else. Say like what? Like own nothing and be happy or something, whatever like that. Have you heard that phrase?
Yeah.
Scary phrase.
I don't like it though. I
hate it, man. I hate it. But everybody's following, you know who actually like revolutionized that though? Elon. Like, I will blame Elon for this. I will blame Elon Musk.
For the vehicles, yes.
Yes, because he started the whole subscription to unlock like things, right? He unlocked like auto self-driving, his subscription. You can buy it as an add-on, but it's a subscription. Like, so
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Was it initially an add-on and then they decided to make it, they switched it off and then they made a subscription?
I think when you order it initially off the car, you can get it as a, and I don't own a Tesla, but I do know that like the autopilot is like an add-on you can buy immediately in the car. But if you don't buy it in the car, you want to activate it later on, it's a subscription. Wow. So it's like a whole like, you know, almost like a lifetime deal, but you have to subscribe for it. There's a subscription anyways for entertainment. Like entertainment in Tesla, I believe, is probably not free. So
what do you mean, like the music and stuff?
I think it's games. Like I'll check it out. Let me check it out now. But entertainment system, I'm pretty sure is not
the
free.
fact they're already like gimmicks. The fact they want to like make it
it's monthly $10 plus tax. Yes, I'm fully serious. So
really,
there's a standard package that comes with navigation, but then after that, when you pay for premium,
they
make you pay for satellite, video streaming, karaoke, music streaming. And the one thing I hate is they don't let you do Apple Play, CarPlay.
Really? On Tesla?
Doesn't exist. Neither does it on the, I think the Mercedes does it, but there's new
Mercedes
cars
definitely does.
But there's new cars coming out with no entertainment system, and you have to pay for it.
Look, I understand if they're reaching a stage, like, so for example, most vehicles, their center console and their functionality is obsolete because everyone's now relying on Apple CarPlay and Android, Android, the one that connects to it.
So whatever the Android.
The vehicle one. Anyway, so like, look, as soon as you enter your car, like your car right now, it will, connect with your phone and that comes up. So their dashboard is becoming obsolete. And I know that Apple is in talks and works with, I think, BMW and the Mercedes to basically, the dashboards are going to become the same interface and operating system as Apple. But then there's the talks of Apple having their own car and everything. So I don't know, it's going to be an interesting transition, and it's an interesting time to see what's going to happen with the world in regards to electronics, tech, motor vehicles, and everything nowadays, Internet of Things.
Hey, but look, I think he's onto something, because like, how he bought Twitter and he's like now verified. Have you seen what Mark Zuckerberg just did?
With the Instagram?
Yeah, he's going to ask you
sent it to me today. Yeah,
pay per monthly subscription. I did try the Twitter Blue. I genuinely tried it because I wanted to see what's actually in it. Because
what do you mean? Like you actually paid for it?
Yeah, I did. I did. I paid for it. I paid for it for like 2 months now. I just had a look at it because I was trying to see, number one, the reason I would pay for it is I want to see if I pay for it, would I engage in a conversation with somebody that I want to engage with? Number one, because like, if you're trying to get somebody
that's verified, you mean?
Yeah, verified.
Also
and you're not verified. They'll be like, oh, you're a pleb. So I'm like, you know what? Let me look like not a pleb and see if that works. It didn't work. It still didn't apply. But I've thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Like, if you read the actual message by like Mark, he's like, oh, you get access to customer support. I'm like, man, like customer support is actually should be something given. I remember when my account got hacked, there's no way you can reach customer support. The only way they hear you is if you're a lawyer. They talk to you when you're a lawyer. There's ways to talk to them, but otherwise you cannot reach Meta. No matter how much you try. Twitter, you could. They take forever, but they could. But it should not be. I don't know. Maybe the viewers can tell us. What do you think? Is it something, and you should tweet about it and tag us in it. But we'll put our handle somewhere here. But if you think that customer support should be a right, you need to tweet and send that guy Mark Zuckerberg something about it, because I'm sick of it. I'm over it.
If you listen to us. The other thing is this: what's your thoughts on actually paying a subscription fee to be verified?
Well, does it mean you get verified on Tinder? Because that can increase your chances.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people do that. You're right.
Yeah, so I remember.
You're going to find those who, but see, the thing is, there's going to be a fine line of like, are you doing it because you're trying to capitalize on, look at me, I'm verified, and use it for like, platforms like Tinder. And then if everybody will get access to it, then it just loses its credibility.
It already has. Like, look, on Twitter,
Twitter,
what you can do is you can press on somebody's verification. So you can press on mine, because obviously I'm legacy verified. I'm not. But if you press on it, you can see that is it somebody that's legacy verified, or is it somebody who's subscribed to Twitter Blue? And my guess, Instagram
it can tell you.
It tells you. So yeah, if you check mine,
oh, that's silly then.
Which is like Osama's icon, and like check an actual profile, I will say Twitter Blue this person is verified because they're subscribed to Twitter Blue. And if somebody's been before, it says he's legacy verified.
Yeah, but can you see? Like
it loses its value.
It already lost its value. So the model right now itself, okay, like the only person who's going to win from this is these tech people. They're just going to make more money. And the idiots, no offense to anybody out there, who literally will pay for that.
Hey, I haven't left the room yet. I was doing to test it, honestly.
No. You're doing it from the perspective of testing. You're not doing it because you're trying to get fame. And what you're doing is because you're trying to see what this is all about. Yeah. But man, there's going to be people out there who are going to fall for this. I feel like it's a scam, you know?
It is a scam. It is a scam. I feel zero better about it because it's like paying for like a certificate. It's like, you haven't earned it. You paid for it. It's like, and think about it, like all your friends know that you're not verified, but now all of a sudden and if you are verified, it just means less. Cause if you want to give a gift to everyone, like if everybody who like can pay for it can get it, then what's the point? Like, I don't want it.
I agree with you. I agree. And you're right. I think the people who are going to use it to their advantage are going to be those who are just trying to, con other people. Like, for example,
the crypto billionaires.
Those kind of guys, people that are going to, like also trying to utilize it, I don't know, get girls maybe to try and impress people. But to be honest with you, I think it's all coming out that you got to be an idiot to not be aware that, this person, like, what does it even mean anymore? Being verified. You know what I mean? So like, before this even occurred, Osama, there are companies out there that you could pay to actually, as you know, to get verified. And so what Elon did, I think he was trying to monetize celebrities and people who are making tons of money on being verified. But I don't know if the model is going to work too well because it kind of just ruined it. And Mark Zuckerberg, as he always does, copies everything. He's going to try and implement it into Instagram, but I think it's going to fail miserably. He
doesn't care. Hey, like he's somebody who's been so like blunt about literally seeing something that works and saying, I'm going to copy it 1-to-1.
Mark?
Zero care. Mark, he stole it from like Snapchat, right? He tried to buy them. The guy said no. He's like, no problem. Copy paste stories. TikTok came around. He's tried to I'm sure he tried to buy them privately, and the way probably said no. And then he copies the Instagram Reels 1-to-1. He even copied the way you actually, that last one that came around, Be Real or whatever it's called, Be Real.
Yeah.
He copied the same feature. Just take a picture, and you take a picture of the front and the back. Time. Not just I don't think he copied that part, but he copied the fact that you can take a picture and you can take a front and back at the same time. And he called it some new feature. And it's like, come on, man. Like, are you that out of like real good quality? And look, I don't hate on you because I know you're smart, but at the same time, you're better than this. Like, you actually, well, he's probably human. I've seen him do barbecue. I think it was like, he's robotic. He's like this, but it's like,
you're right.
Hello, Senator. How are you?
Look, I don't think there's anything look, when Facebook first started, I really enjoyed it. When it had a good purpose, which was basically to connect you with your friends, to share what you're doing. But I think the direction of the world that they're just trying to monetize anything and everything, it loses the value of the product itself, So like, take for example, Instagram. When it first came out, its main purpose was to make a photo look more Polaroid and more antique. But now I see no pictures of my friends anymore. It's all literally ads. It's all sponsorships. I mean,
that's true.
It's like you get to, and the only reason, honestly, that we are on this platform is from our business perspective. But, I don't look at it anymore because I want to see what the rest of the world is doing. I just want to make sure that my product is out there, and I'm assuming it's the same for you. And that's why I hate, and I don't want to jump on TikTok, but I probably need to. So how is that going for you, by the way?
TikTok. Look, I released 7 videos and I realized what works is not real normal content. You actually have to follow a TikTok trend.
That's
so what
true.
I did, I had to like create like a mystery video about something, and that works. But when you're actually delivering good content, I don't think it's incentivized. I think the only way you can do it is by copying a trend. And the issue is like, I don't use TikTok enough. So for me, I don't follow those trends. So I'm always late to the party knowing, okay, this is a new trend. Now I have to like dance to get a view. It doesn't feel the same authenticity as YouTube, but YouTube is now becoming just the same. And I love YouTube, but what YouTube now is actually, I'm part of a YouTube creators Facebook group. And what they're starting to do is they're starting to incentivize reels. But what they do is initially they give you that little dopamine hit. You launch a few reels and you get so many views, but eventually it just drops. And even the way
they're doing it,
they do. And even the way they used to monetize it. Back then you had like, I think 4,000 hours watched I think now it's like 1 million for reels. It's like crazy. They know that people who watch the reels are not the same people that watch the videos. So they will just binge through. And that's true. Like you get weird views. Like you can hit a video with 1 million because it's something like stolen. Like if I put a video of like, I don't know, Mark Zuckerberg, frying a pancake, because it's Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, he'll get those views. And does that mean you've earned it? Or is it the same as producing like a high quality content, like, MKBHD or, somebody who actually puts effort into making the highest quality content? So I don't know.
You're right.
It's
and
tricky.
I think the thing is, it's a very interesting world that YouTube is entering into, because like take us, for example, I see the reels on YouTube sitting there. I never really press on them. I'm always going to the videos that I'm interested in seeing. And that's one thing I used to really, really love about YouTube is that, and that's why a lot of people are like, okay, I don't pay for any platform except for YouTube because I don't want any ads on YouTube. But the reason I'm happy to pay for YouTube is because I'm choosing the content I want to watch, which is the opposite of what Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok does. They feed you the content they want you to see. But YouTube is now trying to follow that algorithm and say, okay, we'll do these reels and we'll push that onto the people. But till today, I honestly don't press on reels, like I'm just still searching the topic I want to search and I'm watching the videos I want to search. And hopefully, I don't know, hopefully it doesn't affect it. Like, look, YouTube is the biggest platform. And like I would say the biggest, because there's just so many different ways from a business perspective one can monetize. And, I enjoy it and I like the platform. Hopefully it doesn't change. Hopefully it doesn't become like TikTok. If they offer the algorithm for the reels, as long as it doesn't affect the rest of the population, then that's great. Because look, like Instagram, when it first started, I liked it. But now it's completely changed that I don't want to be on it, but I have to be on it for the sake of business. I don't want to see the same thing happen with YouTube. What do you guys think?
I'm actually interested. I feel like they should, like, I don't know, how when you play a game, you can choose a journey, and like maybe on YouTube, you can say, I want to be on the real part, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But the issue with it is, and one of like the interesting like posts I've seen on those Facebook groups is like, one guy was saying like, you probably shouldn't really mix too many shorts with long form, because the people that you get on the short form want quick content that's like, short attention span versus the long form content. Us. But it's tricky because like you want to promote, for example, this podcast, right? Like we do want to put shorts out there because that brings attention to the podcast because, well,
we have to, you mean?
We have to. Oh, yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it's that people that watch it might not be the same people that would be watching the full length of the video. But I mean, I get it. People have less time than ever and they're bombarded with more. I don't know. What do you think about it? As a clinician? What do you think is happening with the lifespan?
So seeing it, like definitely everybody's got a very short attention span, but those people with a short attention span, I think they're already too consumed by the matrix of this algorithm. Okay. So take, for example, I can't relate to the Generation Z that's on TikTok. They're not actually on TikTok because they want to consume. I think it's become their world, and whatever gets pushed on them, they'll just watch it, And I know this because of the people that work with me there. I've got, my ex-receptionist who used to work with me, who's now moved on to doing nursing in the hospital. She told me about the TikTok world. She doesn't pick and choose what she watches. It's just pretty much the algorithm tells her what to watch. And I can't relate to that. I like our attention span. Yes, it's getting shorter, but I still want to be able to have control on what I watch and what I want to watch. And I want to educate myself rather than them telling me what's good for me. And which is why YouTube is still good for that. And hopefully it doesn't change. But you're right. Like the attention span is, getting shorter and shorter and smaller. But I think there's going to be a wedge of the people that is split. There's people that, are falling for that trap. And then there's others who want to avoid it. And I'm on that side. I want to avoid it. But yeah, what do you think?
I think it's tricky because like the danger that comes with like short form content is like, you're right. You don't choose what you want, which essentially means you're fed things. So if I were to like control the way somebody thinks about it, this is perfect because, they're not choosing what they want. They're used to being, spoon fed, which happens in the workplace, by the way. Like you and I have both dealt with it. There are people that literally cannot think critically for themselves, and they expect that everything is done for them.
Yeah.
But is that like the actual entire theme? No, there's people that do actually want to think and do critical thinking, but it can get, I don't know, it can get quite deep and, I don't know, depressing, if you will, because like, you know, if you're only, okay, let's say TikTok, tomorrow you started an account and I started an account. The minute I watch one video that might appeal to me, or even I'm just intrigued by, like, think even somebody is just calling for help and like, or some documentary about like some, I don't know, like, you know, somebody getting in trouble or somebody in a fight. The minute I watch it long enough, TikTok knows I like that stuff and it's going to just keep feeding me that stuff. And if I'm somebody who's paranoid, like say my mom's scared of snakes. She would stop at a video that has snakes because she's like, oh, this is dangerous. I need to learn about it.
I know. Yeah.
And then what happens is like she watches it and then her entire videos is snakes. And then they come up with like, being all scared. And it's like, well, of course, because that's what you've been fed. Now you think the world is full of snakes.
Yeah.
Even though it's not full of snakes. And I think that's where the danger of like TikTok is. It reinforces a behavior that you might hate or want, or if something that you really want to happen, but you're still intrigued, the minute you watch it, you're done. And to this day, I keep getting fed videos of chicks on TikTok. And even though I skip them, they still know I'm a guy and I will still look and I will still look.
100%.
It doesn't mean I want
100%.
to, but it's just nature. And it just,
you can't help it. It's nature. 100%.
And it scrolls up and you just stop it. And the minute you stop at it, more. And now Instagram, if you look at your explore page, same thing. They're 100%. Taking a page from TikTok. Now, that same explore page, if I watch a computer video, it's full of computer videos. And,
100%.
And
100%.
it's interesting because Joe Rogan was on like a podcast and he's talking about, on his podcast, but he's talking about like,
hopefully one day now.
On our podcast. Have you heard of Joe Rogan? I don't know. Some people haven't.
Some guy.
This guy, he's a great guy. Anyways, but he's talking about like how his Instagram is full of murders. And this guy's like, what are you on about? But must be that he was, you know, some guys might send him like, hey, check this out. This is messed up. He opens it and all of a sudden that's all he's fed. Now he thinks Instagram is full of that stuff. I haven't seen it. You haven't seen it. But his Instagram, somewhere in that algorithm says, that Joe Rogan guy, he likes these videos.
Yeah.
Feed him.
Have you seen what happened to him lately?
What happened?
So basically somebody created and basically they used snippets of Joe Rogan's podcast. And he was, I think is one of his guests, okay, was talking about testosterone, okay? What they did was they got a snippet of a person he was talking to, okay? Then
I'm going to take a stab in the guess. This is Huberman guy, but go on.
Huberman, it is.
It is?
So it was. Yeah, it was. But what they did was this, okay? So this, I don't know who was. They took that snippet of women talking about testosterone, educating people the importance of, you know, high levels of testosterone in males. And then they used a voiceover where all of a sudden, okay, there's a voice of Joe Rogan as if it was part of the same interview promoting a supplement. And then 2 seconds later, they put the link of the supplement on Amazon. And it was done so smooth and so perfect that his watchers, Joe Rogan's watchers, believed it was Joe Rogan. And they went out and started buying this supplement on Amazon that boosts your testosterone. And then people started hating on Joe Rogan. They said, I can't believe you're promoting this. This is not who you are. And then Joe Rogan said, I never said that. But that's the scary world we live in now. So now you don't know, like tomorrow somebody could, you know, do a voiceover and it will seem like as if we're saying these things and then promoting something that we never promoted. So it's scary. It's happening. And especially with this AI, with this, you know, ChatGPT and this ability to do face swap and all that stuff and everything, there's going to be algorithm. There's going to be bots out there that's going to pretty much promote things that were never said. And it's scary. And it's a world that, you know, I don't know. I feel like it's not heading in the right direction because they allowed, and this is what happened. I don't want to sound controversial, but that's one of the reasons why Donald Trump wanted to ban TikTok, because it was causing a lot of bad things to that population. And that's why TikTok algorithm is completely different in China as it is to the rest of the world, you know?
Yeah, so but then you get Meta doing the same exact thing. I don't know, man. I would want to side with that, but like at the same time, it's like, you know, like all the other big boys are doing it. Just because it's not American doesn't mean it's like,
I agree.
You know
what
I mean?
You're like, right. 100%. They're pushing it in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%. They're pushing it in a different way because obviously Meta's doing it. Instagram is doing it. Snapchat's doing it. So they're feeding you all that stuff. So take, for example, I wanted to figure out one way to promote my cosmetic side of my clinic. And I spoke to my receptionist, who's the Generation Z, and she's on TikTok. And I was like, so how does it work? And I was just asking her, like, what makes you stop on a video and stuff like that? And she was telling me, she showed me actually a particular dermatologist from America who started off initially talking about, proper skin routines and giving proper medical advice and everything. But he now does controversial videos, which what made him go so big. He's no longer a doctor. He's literally a TikToker now, and he's making millions of TikTok. And
hey, we chose the wrong career, man.
Well, I don't know.
I'm joking. Yeah.
I agree with you. Like, we can go chase money, but you will lose yourself and you'll lose your ethics and your moral ground. So this dermatologist who initially started off giving people advice is now promoting products, and that's selling more millions. And he would do also he's doing it in a way he's using fear as a way of actually promoting his products. And when I saw it, and we showed it,
that means you're really not being truthful.
It's
to
very
your
unethical
people.
now,
especially as a doctor. You have a duty of at least transparency.
I know, but they don't do that anymore. I'll tell you that now, because you know why? Because they're no longer doctors. So what they're doing is that they started off as doctors. They realize that they're making much more money on these platforms. And instead, what they're doing is that they're selling their product. And tomorrow, they probably don't even have a doctor license anymore, to be honest with you. But that's the way things are heading. And it is dangerous. And that's why I'm very cautious with what platform I go on and how I promote things. Because then, it can definitely backfire on you, and it can be very misleading to people, and it just goes against my morals and ethics.
Hey, I'm going to continue doing some TikTok dances. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. By all means. I saw you do it the other day about back pain. But see, that's the thing. I didn't
dance. I was actually giving good advice. I'm like, hey, look.
You're giving good advice, but I'm wondering whether that would actually work as an algorithm on TikTok. And like you said, it probably won't, unfortunately.
I'll tell you what I'm betting on. So what I'm betting on, and this is my secret, I'm giving it for free. See, everybody who's actually listening, you better subscribe. This is a freebie.
Exactly.
You gotta subscribe. This is subscribe. Whatever if you're doing on Apple or Spotify, you follow. And if on YouTube, better subscribe. This is
join us, guys.
Free. All right. So what I think is going to happen, which has happened a million times before. So remember Facebook? Facebook was for the cool kids. You and I were on Facebook before, Farmville. Remember Farmville? It was a good game.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I never played it.
Well, the guy made millions of it. He's actually
100%.
Made so much money out of it. But
100%.
Actually, I'll probably next episode. Maybe I'm going to do some research. I'm going to see what happened. But yeah, so my guess is that eventually the same people that went from Facebook, your grandma, let's talk about your grandma, okay? So your grandma eventually went on Facebook. And now she's starting to go on Instagram. You've seen those follows. Your uncle and aunt, every now and then they slip into your profile and follow you. Yeah. These same people will end up on TikTok. And when they're on TikTok, I will be there. And they have a shorter span than everybody else. And I will be the one winning. So I'm betting on the future. I'm a visionary, okay?
So you think that the future will be like that? The people that are now on Facebook,
it's always happened. It's always happened. And the minute it happens, those people on TikTok are gone. They're gone. They're far gone. They're going to go into the next platform. It's happened a million times,
but it will
continue to happen.
I dig it. I agree and I disagreed with you. I'll be honest with you. The reason I say that is because you and I grew up in an era where our parents and us, we could relate to each other. And the next generation, Generation Z, we don't relate to them. And I don't know if you know, but Generation Z looks at us completely different. And we can't vibe with what they're doing and they don't vibe with us. And TikTok, I think, is the main platform that Generation Z has grew up in. We grew up with the first ever social media platform was MySpace. And before that was Messenger. Remember when we used to finish school run? I'm talking MSN Messenger.
Yeah, but everybody uses it. Well, my point of it is yes, the platform, my guess is the platform will change to cater for those new people. So I actually genuinely think that will happen.
By the way, right now, for example, who is the majority of people on Facebook?
Old people now. Old people.
Old people. Yeah, old people.
Yes.
Exactly. But old people, the only reason they stay connected on Facebook is because Facebook it was still considered as a platform to connect you with your friends and relatives from overseas and everything.
But does your mom have Instagram?
No.
Okay, mine does. And I'm telling you, I'm starting to see my aunts and my uncles go on Instagram. That's why everybody's getting out of Instagram.
That's a mistake. You should never add them or accept
Hey, I haven't seen them. Just for anybody listening, I have not seen those requests. I was dreaming. I had a bad dream, and I think somebody followed. Anyways,
well, I'll tell you this. Look,
time will tell. It's very hard to know, but my guess is time will tell. But on that one note, just to add, we were talking about Twitter. Do you know that they're actually going to start charging you for SMS two-factor authentication?
SMS two-factor authentication? Really?
Yes. So for you to authenticate. So your security now is not for free. You got to pay for it.
Wow, that is, and can I tell you something? Like,
that's when I'm out.
I'm out. I'm out. To be honest with you, I've already been out. I tried with Twitter for a while. And if Elon Musk was the person behind that, then it's just getting greedy. You know, I used to like him, but now when I'm seeing him, if he's doing things like where, you know, your car, everything in it is going to be subscription based. He tried to play the hero game, or I'm trying to basically make cars more accessible to people, especially, you know, electric vehicles, so I could help the planet. But if it's going to be like this, where is the morals? You know what I mean? And I think that's what always happens with these people. When they enter a world of money and just greed follows through with it, you know? And it's just so hard for somebody to stay grounded. Like, you know, like take, for example, what's his name? The Amazon guy.
There's an Amazon guy. Which guy?
What's his name?
Bezos.
Bezos, yeah, exactly. Jeff Bezos, you know what I mean? Like, he started, you know, sort of like humble beginnings, if you say, you know, and like he worked very, very, very hard, okay? But to get to the point now where you have to create one of the biggest yachts just to feed your damn ego, you know, and you want to destroy a historic bridge. And I know this is old news now, you know, but that's what happens when didn't you hear about that? To get his yacht out, he had to destroy a historic bridge.
I heard that. They had to like, yeah. He's on God level though. Like he's when you like, you never ever played like Grand Theft Auto.
Like God level. So like they can do whatever they want. And that's, I don't know, it's disgusting.
Here's how I picture him, right? Like I remember when in Grand Theft Auto, you'd like play the game and there's like those key like little secrets you write, right? I remember one of the cheat codes was buff me up.
Buff me up, I remember that.
That's the first thing he's done. He's now buffed up, right?
God level. Exactly.
Now he's walking like this. And then he did the whole lot of money thing, and he's done the cops thing. So now he's got no tax.
Yeah.
And now he's got the boat. Next thing is going to be the helicopter and running from the police.
They'll never. No, actually, go in space. That's what it is. You know, helicopter.
Oh, yeah, he has, hasn't he?
Now, before we wrap it up, okay, we need to also talk about the purpose of this podcast and why we did it, why we're here, why we are doing this, and what we started with. So I'll let you start first on what you do. What you used to do and what do you plan to do and why you did it.
All right. Good call out. All right. So first of all, I want to introduce myself at the very end. My name is Osama Saket. I'm a physiotherapist and a public health practitioner. And recently I've been getting into tech. So it all happened during COVID, lockdown. I've always loved technology. I've always loved software, just like Walid has, and I'll get him to talk about it himself. But I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't want to be tied up to one thing I've chosen. And like, I like health, but I really also like tech. And like, when I'm not doing health stuff, you know, during my break, I'm looking at YouTube videos of unboxing and tech and software, learning to code, learning to, you know, kind of keep up with what's happening, what's new. And I figured, you know what, like I'm actually going to learn it. I'm going to actually learn how to code. I'm going to learn how the software works because I'm not too old for it. And the way, just like Walid did, like learning how to get into like healthcare, you learn how to learn and it doesn't stop. But what I've realized is I'm actually just as interested in learning about tech. So I kind of shifted to that. And eventually now I'm working on an app, which I'll reveal later on, but
beautiful.
I'm getting to that point where my expertise are kind of equalizing. I'm just as much into tech as I am into health. And I figured the best way for me to like utilize it is talk about it. Like, I want to talk about why I got into it. And hopefully anybody who's listening to this podcast can realize that you're not confined to something you choose. You can have done anything you want in life, whether you're into construction or health or sales. That shouldn't tie you from choosing some other pathway that you enjoy. There's a way to do it, but it doesn't mean that you're tied up. Like if you're 40, if you're 50, if you're 70, it doesn't mean that now that's it, you're done. You can learn things from scratch. It takes more effort as you go down the pathway because you know, it's going to be a harder learning curve, but it's worth it. And I think if it's something that still itches you and you put it in the shelf and every day you're thinking about it, I think you need to think about why you did it and whether you can actually choose to do something else and why would you do that? So the reason I decided with Walid that we're going to do this podcast is we want to talk about why interesting people do interesting things. And I'll leave that with Walid.
Beautiful, man. Well said. Can't beat that. But okay, so I'm Dr. Walid Ibrahimani, and so my background is that I'm a general practitioner and I'm a cosmetic physician as well. And even though I love health, I've always been obsessed and in love with technology. And ever since I was young, I pretty much just love the intricate details of computers, tech, and anything to do with electronics. However, the reason why I did medicine was because I was encouraged by my family. As any ethnic parent would do, they'll always try and push you to either be a doctor, a lawyer, a physiotherapist, or an engineer. Otherwise, you can't actually stay home. You got to get
unemployed.
out of it.
You're unemployed.
Or you're disowned.
Yeah. Disowned, yeah.
So, and when you're young, you don't really know what you want to do. So you just follow the advice that was given to you. So for years, I pursued the career of medicine. And don't get me wrong, I love it. And I'm continuing it. But then one day a few years ago, I had a realization. I was like, I wasn't getting the same return and joy. And like, I just didn't feel fulfilled by what I was doing. But something inside me kept telling me that, you know, this is the only pathway you have. Until eventually I realized, I was like, you know what have I got to lose? So then I decided to basically think of an idea and really follow my pathway of tech. And we'll get into it later, how we got into it and everything and what we're doing now and all. But the realization, and with the help of Osama as well, made me realize I can definitely pursue another career while I'm still doing medicine. And at the same time, you know, follow my passion, which is technology and tech. And I'm into hardware, Osama's into software. Just a little hint. But so, yeah, and made me realize, you know what, it's never too late to start again. And why not do another new business in technology, and then hopefully we'll open up into a whole new world, and we'll see where this will take us. And that's why we're doing it, and we want to know why everybody else is doing it. And yeah, wonder why we did it.
That was great. Bravo. All right, I think we'll wrap it up on a good side. This has been great. We do this weekly, so tune into our next video, and hopefully you find out why somebody else did it, not us.
Yes, exactly. That'd be awesome. And if you guys have anything that you want us to discuss, or if you have any comments, write them below. And we'll try and put more links as well. And we'll try and stay up to date with it every single week. But as for now, man, that was great. We did really well.
Great. Let's wrap it up. See you guys in the next video.
Catch you guys next time. Peace out.
So why do you want it?
It's good goddamn business. And if I don't buy it, someone else will, and that will be very, very